On my last episode of my Road to Masters, we got some very unfortunate games, basically 2 games in a row, where people AFK'd on my team and it ended up bringing me back down to Diamond 3-0 LP. We took a bit of a break after that, which is why it's been so long, but that is where we'll be picking up today's episode of my Road to Masters. Today's video is sponsored by HASTE. There's only 2 weeks left of being able to grab this service for free. If you haven't yet heard about HASTE, it's a quick and easy sign up and download, and when you run League, you run it through HASTE, and it will stabilize your connection to the right servers. Some people have amazing results, like lowering their ping by over 50 points, preventing jitter during games, and for others, it just prevents you from disconnecting during games. Results will vary, but like I said, time is running out to get it for free, so I highly recommend going into the description and clicking on the link for HASTE. But with that being said, let's get into the video. Now, facing Demotion, I actually played Gragas this game. I just felt like it was a stronger pick than Lee this game because we really needed a strong frontliner, and the action begins with a gank bot lane that ends up converting into a first blood for our Tristana. As soon as I hit level 6, I tried to relieve some of the pressure Kennen was facing versus Irelia. I'm not sure how that matchup goes, but it didn't seem to favor our Kennen at all, so I come to give him some assistance. I hold onto my E to make sure I don't hit the minions by accident. Irelia pops her ult and actually survives long enough to force Kennen off, and not wanting to risk anything, I just flash on top of her and W for the kill. Shortly after, Kennen is getting chased by both Irelia and the enemy Xin Zhao, but little do they know, they're walking right into a trap. Orianna and the Fat Man are roaming up, and the two of them blow them up as the TP comes down. Kassadin tries to bail out, flashes my ult, but with the help of Orianna, we end up chasing him down and take him down under his tower, putting us up 6-0 in kills. 20 minutes into the game now, the game is very close and a big contest at Mountain Drake is about to transpire. I have a nice splitting ultimate into the Drake steal to start out the engage. Orianna chains it with a beautiful shockwave and the enemies go into retreat mode. I choose to chase the Xin Zhao but can't find him, but the rest of my team tries to clean up house. Irelia actually does settle the score, but after a delayed chase we take her down, giving us a 3-for-2 and dragon. No time is wasted before the next fight. They were really trying to press it on us before Tristana and Kennen could scale. I tried to ult Xin Zhao away here, but he E's in front of my ult, putting him on Trist and screwing over the fight. Irelia is actually really scary at this point, so we end up disengaging to reset. Now the problem, as I said, was Irelia. Kennen was just getting killed under tower at this point, and I make what looks like a mistake of trying to fight her, but my team arrives just in time to save my fat ass and get us a 2-for-0, which is actually huge because it leads to a free Baron. Looking to use Baron to siege down mid lane, Rakan goes balls to the wall and gets us a pick on Blitz. Kennen accidentally blows ultimate, but apparently it doesn't matter because we keep on forcing mid lane and the Irelia TP comes down, but it gets cancelled when the tower falls, and this gives us the easiest 3v5 in the world, and with that we're able to end the game swiftly, and that brings us up to Diamond 3 17 LP. The next game doesn't start off quite as well for me. I'm a complete idiot, guys. Lee Sin was banned and I picked Olaf into Elise, which is comparable to Hecarim into Lee Sin, just a horrible matchup, and I was stupid enough to lock in Olaf. I get invaded as expected at level 3, and she times the cocoon with the red falling. Both laners from both teams rotate over to try and help us, but we just didn't have the power that they did, and it ends up leading to us giving up a 2-for-0 and just a horrid start. And in this elo, that's enough to snowball the game out of control, especially for my shitty matchup. Elise just kept invading me early on, and I had to give up so much jungle and had to get so many roams just to keep on dying, and the game just looks pretty fucked. Now somehow, some way, we do find a good fight here, and I'm able to scrap like crazy, and eventually I chase down Rakan, giving us a 3-for-1 and an Infernal Drake, which gives us some life in this game. The problem was that we were so far behind to begin with, and we had no tools to deal with Darius or Yasuo, and so we tricked ourselves into believing we can win a 5v5, and it doesn't work out as planned, so the stomp continues, and they eventually just shove it down mid lane, and we get a very ugly loss from this one. That was 100% on me, because I picked a horrible matchup, and I caused a lot of early deaths to our team. And of course, that brings us down to Diamond 3-0 LP once again, and we're facing demotion. And in this game, I pull out the Gragas again. Honestly, I'm not purposely neglecting Lee Sin in these games. I just really felt like this was a better pick for our team. And right off the bat, this game gets very interesting. First blood is given top lane to the Kazakhs, which is unfortunate because it looks like we have an easy kill bot lane here. I E over the wall to try and not waste any time, which ends up being stupid because it means I have to flash for the kill here. Bard screws up and takes tower, and even though I get the kill, I had no flash or E, so I get stuck and give the Thresh a double kill. The problem here wasn't the decision to dive, it was just that we rushed it. We could have waited for my E to come back. I decided to try and help Yasuo against this Irelia. I E flash, but he doesn't ult. I guess he was out of range, but he then lands the nado under tower after we chase her down. I decide to take the tower aggro, and with good tower juggle, we get the kill and walk away both alive. This game was really frustrating though. I felt like I couldn't go farm a single camp without somebody needing help or giving up a kill, and it was really starting to tilt me because I just wasn't sure what to do at this point. Ahri gets caught out by Kazakhs here, and I make a really dumb decision right after to try and stick around and pick up a kill on Corki. He makes a nice dodge on my E, and then I get taken down on the retreat. Now we're already really fucking behind in this game, and they summoned the Rift Herald here with 5 people mid lane, and this puts a lot of pressure on us. Bard does get a good stun on Corki, and I followed up pretty nicely to pick off Corki for the kill, but even with this catch, we just couldn't defend the siege. Caitlyn somehow falls to the Sivir, Ahri gets hooked and dies, and next thing I know, we get dove, and everyone is dead except for me. And that leads to them taking an inhib. The game does feel pretty over at this point. Kate gets hooked mid lane here, but we managed to turn it on them. I think this was a cocky play by them because it does end up leading me to get a double kill. And there were little moments in this game like that where I felt like we were starting to actually claw our way back in, but we really never got any map control, and it leads to them starting a Baron without us having any vision. No one on my team is reacting except for me. They of course had everything warded, so I end up getting caught out by Thresh as soon as I step up. Bard tries to save me, but it doesn't help, and I guess in hindsight it's better to give up Baron than to get caught, but regardless, that game was probably over, and yes, that means we lose, and yes, that means I get demoted back to D4 again. Alright guys, now listen, there's a lot I want to say to all of you. I haven't really just spoken my mind in a very long time doing this series. First of all, I want to talk about me. I want to talk about this climb. Being stuck in Diamond for so many seasons now has caused me to kind of reflect on myself as a player, not just from an analytical standpoint, but really just figure out where my potential is as a player. And at first I convinced myself that I'm not climbing because I'm just not getting better. I'm peaked as a player, and all these other negative thoughts that I tell myself about other things when I'm struggling to succeed. But really what it comes down to is Diamond is no joke, guys. There's a lot of people that come into my comment section and try to invalidate everything I do and say because I'm hard stuck Diamond. First it was, oh, he's hard stuck D5, then it was D4, now it's D3, and the funny thing is, I still made it to the top 5,000 players in North America, out of 1.5 million players, which is the top 0.4%. This whole time I let myself feel bad about being where I'm at, but people that like to ridicule you for your rank are just like the people who like to ridicule you for everything else you do in life. One big factor I've been overlooking this whole time is simply where my priorities lie. You see, most people that get to Masters or higher, which, by the way, under 2% of Diamond players will make it to Masters, which, if you're curious how that compares to other ELOs, 20% of Platinum players make it to Diamond, which means mathematically, getting out of Diamond is literally 10 times harder than getting out of Plat. I think that's why you see so many Road to Masters series on YouTube, people being hard stuck Diamond. This ELO is just difficult. This is the finest line between people who play this game more casually and people who play this game as their life. Most players in Masters or higher simply dedicate more time of their life to getting better at this game, and I'm not trying to make excuses for myself, but it's going to be much harder for me, somebody who plays League for only a few hours a day, to legitimately compete with players who spend 8+ hours a day playing this game. Pro players probably closer to 12 hours a day. I just have other things in my life that I'm trying to work at, and I just can't compete with that amount of time spent on this game. Listen, when it comes to me, I'm not trying to justify my being hard stuck Diamond. I'm simply trying to bring light to the fact that being in Diamond is nothing to be ashamed of, even for a popular League of Legends figure like myself. This climb is far from over, I'm only getting started, but with that being said, whether or not I hit Masters has nothing to do with whether or not I feel achieved as a player. It's not about the rank, it's about the effort, the mindset, the perseverance, and this is why I see this game in a different way than most of you probably do. This game is such a perfect life lesson, man, and this is the message I want to send to all of you watching. League of Legends is just a game, but in this game I've learned amazing life lessons. I've learned that when you feel stuck, it makes you want to give up. I've learned that when you play bad, it makes you lose faith in yourself. I've learned that blaming others is just a natural defense mechanism to avoid blaming yourself. And I've learned that people who are jealous of where you are now will try to make you think that where you are now is something to be ashamed of. These are all things that happen in real life endeavors too. Like the people who told me I'd never make a successful career out of YouTube. Like the amount of times I felt like giving up on all of my goals in life after a few bad days. The reason why I'm telling you all of this is because I know some of you listening experience the LoL community on a daily basis, and I don't want you to fall victim to it. It's been trying to take me victim since day one, and I refuse. Listen guys, you gotta change the game. Don't let the game change you. Disciplining myself on this game has disciplined me in real life too. If you're out here trying to climb, you can't let the stigmas of being where you're at affect how you play. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if you succeed, so long as you tried. Because trying is the most fun fucking part. And that's what the purpose of this series is.
Yeah, that's what you said to me.